Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to my subscribers lesson. It's Sunday night here in the UK, and our local time is 7:54 p.m., which is the UK time or GMT. So it's my pleasure again to make another live stream. I'm a bit ahead of my time because my live class is supposed to start from 8 p.m. but it started a bit earlier, a few minutes earlier. So welcome all the people who are watching who are not able to make comments. As you know, the reason is that you're not my subscribers. Okay, if you'd like to subscribe to my lesson or class, it's very easy. Visit my account, and if you see the sign up button, just touch it once, then it will take you to the subscription page where you have to make a payment of $10. So with the $10, you'll be able to join me for the whole month, whereas you'll be taught 8 1-hourly lesson. Okay, dear viewers, I have to wait a while until I get my subscriber who has subscribed to this lesson. So bear me a moment, please. Once again, guys, if you haven't seen me or if you're watching for the first time, I'm very happy to get you. This is Rahat Ali, as you see from the name. I'm a part-time Hello teacher from England. I teach English grammar, spoken English, IELTS coaching, and basic British IPA. So through all these lessons, you always have the chance to practice speaking, talking to me either by audio call or the video call, whichever is suitable and comfortable for you. You have to bear in mind that this app or this web is only for developing English language, which is why you've got code of conduct, policies, guidelines, and many other mandatory things that we must do. If you are using for the first time this app, please make sure you read the code of conduct, which is underneath your settings when you logged into your account to the Hallo through the mobile or maybe from the web. If you go to your account, you'll find settings and underneath code of conduct. Okay, so the code of conduct always tells us what we should do and what we must not do. Okay, the first and important rule of this app is that we have to always communicate in English, either in a live stream or messaging on the comment section or through the inbox. And the second rule is that you are not allowed to discuss any sensitive issues like politics, religions, or any other topic that might hurt anyone, any person, any community, or any country. Or even you're not allowed to recite any religious scriptures like Holy Quran or Bible or any other scriptures. Okay, and you need to be respectful to each and everyone. Oh, someone had just subscribed. Let me see who's the person. Regardless, so hang on a moment, please. Let me see. Someone has just subscribed. Dr. Indominus. That's great. So, Dr. Mash or the Indominus, if you're still here, please let me know so that you can come here and talk to me. I know that you are an amazing person. You are also an English teacher, OET teacher, and it will be really amazing for me to have a good conversation with you. Okay, let's move on. You are on the way of home. Okay, I'll be back in a while. That's great, Dr. Mash. I'm happy to see you here once again. So you and there's another girl from Peru, Monica, have subscribed to this lesson. So we're going to practice some grammar, some reading, and obviously phonetics rules, especially British IPA rules, and how we can develop our sounds, our English, and as well as grammar to the next level. As you might be aware, dear members, English language, is most of the cases, is your second language. And I have realized that many of our learners, English language is the third or fourth language, which is really amazing, which means that you learners are really amazing. You have learned first language, which is mother tongue, then second language, maybe Arabic or French, then third language, then fourth language. Wow, that's really cool. Amazingly, when a person learns a new language, it opens his or her communication channel. It's like a breathing with other people. Okay, it's like making connections to the unknown to become known. Okay, so that's really cool. As a matter of fact, I also know 6 languages, and English is my second language. It's not my first language either. I was not born in the UK. I migrated in the UK a long time ago. I'm sure most of you are aware of this information. All right, so let's move on. We're going to learn some basic grammar today, and I believe that if Monica or Dr. Mesh is here, then we can start practicing. So let's move on. Let's share the pace. Okay, I'm sure that you can see the screen that I've shared just now. And before that, give me a moment, please. I need to find out the Cambridge Dictionary. Okay, so we're back. So in English expressions or English language, we express our preferences different ways. Okay, and one of them is I prefer. So what does the word prefer mean? I'm sure you know that prefer means when you like something more better than another thing. It could be a food, it could be an object, it could be a dress, it could be anything else. Okay. So when you use this word prefer, we have to remember that we must use 2 different uh, objects at the same time. Okay, and this is the one of the examples I'm going to show you. As we go through, and we also use I prefer rather than, and also use I would prefer. Okay, so prefer.
Prefer.
Basically, it's prefer. It's stressing on E and longer is on I prefer. Do you prefer hot or cold weather? That's a very good example because now it is going to be weather in the UK. Okay, so do you prefer hot or cold weather? Or you can say, I prefer hot weather than cold weather. Can you say then? Can you say to? Yeah, we can use the preposition then or to. Both, you can say that. So I prefer hot to cold weather. We give these examples. So I prefer. I prefer Okay, so we're going to describe at least these three expressions with your liking, when you like something and when you don't like something or dislike. So I prefer hot to cold weather. Then next one is prefer then. Prefer once again.
Prefer.
I prefer, apple to cherry. We have to remember that after prefer, we must use this preposition to, which is we called collocation very often. So I'm writing it again. Prefer to, or you can say prefer then. So let's do with the first example. I prefer hot to cold weather. All right. All right. So next one, if we make more sentences, that will be better for us. Okay. I gave another example like Jim prefers apple to cherry. So we have to remember the rule is that prefer to or prefer then, the two collocations, but we have to bring the first subject or object at the after the prefer to express your liking. Like I prefer hot to cold weather, or you can say Jim prefers apple to cherry. Let me make another example. They prefer uh, listening to speaking. Okay, so I've given one example I with first person, Jim is third person, they is third person plural. You can say second person you. Hang on a moment. So I prefer apples to cherry. Yeah, it's not apple. It could be an apple and a cherry. Um, if you use you, you prefer um, sleeping to walking. Okay, so these are some of the examples. Prefer to, when we are expressing our liking, one is more than another one. It is important to use correct form of grammar once again, guys and dear viewers. Remember that when we learn grammar, we need to know all kinds of these grammatical terms like person, number, which is singular, plural number. Person is first person, second person, third person, and then verb. As you know, verb is one of the important parts of speech. And also noun, pronoun, which are the parts of pieces too. Adjective, okay, then articles, then tense, and also narration, direct or indirect narration, and voice, passive or active voice. These are the most important parts of English grammar to develop your English language, your understanding, which will implicate in your writing as well in speaking. And also, the most important factor is that whatever we learn from any teacher, any student, we have to practice. Practice makes you confident. Practice gives you motivation. When you find that sometimes, oh, really, I'm developing more every day, or I develop every day, then it will be your internal, or we call in another word, intrinsic motivation, where you have the courage, you have the desire, you have the interest to learn more. Learning more, is the one of the greatest features for any learners. So there we remember to utilize the time to study every day. So next example is I prefer rather than. Okay, I prefer rather than. So how can we use it? I prefer rather than. Uh, just give me one quick second. So it's the similar pattern. We can use I prefer rather than. Like I prefer to go skiing this year rather than going on a holiday, beach holiday. Remember that the sound beach and beach is a bit different. So I prefer, or I would prefer, you can say, these are almost similar. I prefer, these are almost similar. So I prefer, I prefer, yeah. I prefer to go skiing rather than go swimming. Okay, so this is an really an amazing example. I prefer to go skiing rather than go swimming. So we use prefer than the verb with intransitive form, then rather than in the middle, and we use the last part. Then let me give you another examples. Jenny prefers um, singing rather than dancing. Singing rather than dancing. Okay, so this is another example of the same pattern. Janie prefers singing rather than dancing. Dear viewers, we have to remember that when there is ing in a verb or in a participle or in a gerund. Hi Monica, welcome. Hello Monica.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am doing great too, teacher. I am fantastic today. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Your sound doesn't seem to be clear. Is there any way you can check the connection again?
Okay, teacher. Uh, now
Dis-
is better,
disconnect and reconnect, please. Then it will be.
but I can hear you clearly.
You can hear me clearly, but I can't hear you clearly. That's the problem. I'm sorry.
Okay, teacher. Okay, I tried to connect it by other mobile phone. Uh, Give me a minute, a second, please.
Sure, that will be great. So, dear viewers, welcome once again. You're watching the live stream from the UK, and our local time is 8:14 Sunday night here, and we are going to discuss, some grammar rules, some patterns, and uh, definitely related sounds, which would be helpful for our learners to take their English language to the next level. It is an important matter for all of us to, understand that sounding like a good speaker is very important. So, what does this phonetics or the sounds help us to learn? It helps us learn better pronunciation, the pronunciation that goes with the book, you know, and that goes with the rules. Hello, Monica.
Teacher, now it's better?
No, it remains same. Do me a favor, disconnect your headphone from the device. Are you using mobile or the laptop?
I am using the tablet.
You're using your tablet.
Yes.
Are you using any
Oh, what
headphone?
headphone?
Um,
No. I don't use a headphone. Only tablet directly.
you're speaking directly to the tablet.
Yeah.
Okay, can you please adjust the volume because your voice is muffled. You know, muffled means like not clear, something like that.
Now, teacher, better?
No, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I can hear you. I can barely hear you. That will be all right. Let's move on. So, thanks for subscribing to this lesson as well. And there is another person joined. I don't know where is his comments gone. He was here a little while ago. Okay, so how are you doing today?
I am doing well, teacher. Thank you for asking. Really well today.
Oh, what's
Uh,
happening? Your comments is gone too. Do you see the comments on the comment section? Ah, I
yes,
don't.
teacher.
But I don't know what's the problem with my laptop. I can't see any comment. No worries. The other person who subscribed to me is a doctor from Sri Lanka, but he's a Canadian citizen. He's
Oh,
also another English teacher. That's really cool. Okay, his name is the Indominus. If you can see the name, the
in Domino's.
the Indominus is his nickname. His name is Doctor Mash.
Ah, Dr. Nash.
Okay, he subscribed to two of my
Is he
lessons.
here?
I'm sorry.
Is he here?
Oh, he was here earlier, but I can't see any comment in the laptop. Maybe it's a technical glitch, but I can see through the mobile that all these comments are there. Okay, so
Yes,
Monica,
teacher.
I sent you a message earlier. So because this lesson will be mostly grammar and sentence patterns, what do you like to be discussed today?
Grammar is okay, teacher.
Okay, so I was discussing before you came the preferences, liking and dislikings. Okay,
Okay.
so what happens basically in English language or expressions, sometimes we express our liking one thing is more better than another thing. So there are uh, three expressions we are going to learn today. First one is I prefer. You know the meaning prefer?
Yeah, I know what is the meaning.
prefer,
What does it
Uh,
mean? Can you please tell me?
yes, but prefer is like that. What do you want? For example, what do you want? That is you can choose between two things, for example, or other things.
Great, high five. Well done, bravo. Yes. So when you like one thing one more better than another one, we use this word prefer. And we have to remember that we must use some preposition, correct preposition when you're explaining, and there should be two things to compare. Okay.
Okay.
So you see this pattern. I prefer. I've written some examples. Would you like to read? And maybe you can give us an example.
Okay, teacher. I prefer hot to cold weather.
Cold. Hot to
Cold.
cold.
I
Okay.
prefer hot to cold weather.
Okay. One thing, you see hot. I'm just making it red color so that you see. You see the word hot,
Yes, I can
and you
see.
can see two as well. Yeah. And in English grammar, there is a rule we call it uh, assimilation or natural way of talking. If a letter has a consonant at the end, like in this case, hot, and next word starts with the similar letter like T, one T should be removed for our easy pronunciation. Hot to cold. You see? Can you hear hot to cold? You have to be together. Hot to
Hot
cold.
to cold.
Yeah, I prefer hot to
Hot
cold
to
weather.
cold.
Hot to cold weather. Similarly,
I prefer hot to cold.
very good. As I was saying, similarly, one to is another one. Forget to, not forget to, not to one to, but one to. Okay, one to is gone. Forget to, one to is gone. All right, next sentence. Monica, what's the next sentence?
James prefers apples to cherry.
So, what's your
Jim prefers apple to cherry.
Jim prefers? Remember, we are stressing on far. Prefer, prefer. Say it. Monica, prefer, not prefers. Rather,
Prefer
we are stressing on far. Prefer. Jim prefers apples to cherry. So, what's your favorite food, Monica?
my favorite food
Your
is
favorite,
apple.
your favorite food is
Apple.
apple. Apple. Okay. So, which fruits you don't like?
Apple. I like apple.
Okay, you like apple. That's fine. But is there any fruit you don't like at all?
I like apple too, but there are some fruits that I don't like.
Hmm. Monica, your sound is gone. Uh-oh, what happened? I lost you, Monica. Your camera is on. Would you like to rejoin? Just hopping off. Your camera is on and it's frozen. Oh, that's great. Welcome back. Welcome back. Your sound is better than before.
Yes, because I try to join by my phone, teacher now.
Okay. Maybe in the tablet, maybe you need to adjust your sound from the settings.
Yes, yes, maybe, teacher, maybe.
That's great.
Yes.
So I was saying, remember after prefer we use to or then. Okay, these are the grammar
Mhm.
rules. Prefer
Okay.
to or prefer then, or there is another would prefer. Then we'll go back later. Let's practice prefer to first. Prefer to. So I prefer hot to cold weather. So what kind of weather do you like most?
Uh, I prefer cold weather, sincerely.
So if you prefer cold weather, then you have to say I prefer cold to hot weather. Can you please make a
I
sentence
prefer,
like this?
yes, I prefer cold than hot weather.
Yes, cold then hot weather or cold to hot weather. It could be either way.
Mhm.
You can use to or you can use then. That's not a problem. You can see that these are the two ways we can express. Prefer to, prefer then. Okay?
Okay.
Well done. Bravo. High five for you.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Now, can you please give an example for like third person singular number, Monica? Do you remember which is third person singular number?
Yes, for singular number. Okay. I've an example, really, teacher.
That's right.
Okay. Um, I prefer no, I prefer writing uh, to reading.
Okay,
It's
this
okay.
no, remember that third person singular number subject. I is first person singular number. Who is first person plural number. You is both for second person, singular
No,
and
I understand. No, I was thinking that you, okay, teacher, maybe I didn't understand before. Okay, then other example. He prefers uh, he he prefers travel to go to sleep.
so she prefers traveling
Tra- Traveling
to
to
going
go to
to
sleep.
going to sleep. Yes. Remember that if you use traveling, first verb and next verb should be ing. Or travel, if you use travel as a noun and sleep as a noun, travel to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so can you use the example with they? Like I've given an example, they prefer listening to speaking.
Okay. For example, they prefer listen to music to go to the cinema.
So they prefer, in that case, listening to the music. You have to say, not listen to music,
Listen to music. Okay.
to going to the cinema. Remember, listening
Mhm.
and going. We call verbs parallelism. Like verb, if a verb takes ing in the first part and second part, the verb, another verb must take the ing. Okay,
Okay.
very good. Bravo, you're doing really great. And next one is, if you remember, if there is ing with a verb, we do not pronounce the G generally. So, okay, when you're talking faster, we don't say they prefer listening, listening to speaking.
Okay. Listen to. I can say, teacher. Why I can say, for example, they prefer to listen. For example, I prefer to listen.
No, we
Why?
cannot.
Why?
We cannot say like
Is
this. That doesn't make sense really. You can say they prefer
okay.
listening, but if you remember, if you use prefer, you need to use compare with another word.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it will not be grammatically correct. It may be correct in spoken English, but grammatically, it will be still regarded as an incorrect sentence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay,
Monica,
teacher.
one thing, remember that we follow by the book. By the book means by rules or laws of the grammar. And
Mm-hmm.
definitely, when is the matter of following the book or following the grammar rules, we need to know the correct form, how we learn, how we practice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, teacher.
All right. So, tell me, what did you do today? Did you have you had your lunch yet?
Not still, teacher. Not still, because I was doing some things. But maybe I have my lunch in 1 hour later after the class.
Okay. And thanks for joining in Facebook as well and making and liking all the comments. You're really an amazing girl.
Thank you so much, teacher. Thank you to you because I want to improve my grammar. That is the reason why I join your class, and always I pass a good time with you because you always support me in my in my English process.
Thank you very much. I try my best to support and assist each and everyone.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so Monica, as a expression, we can use also prefer then, like I prefer rather prefer than. Yeah, look, I prefer then. I prefer
Mm-hmm.
to go skiing rather than go swimming. I prefer rather than. So this pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny prefers singing rather than dancing. Like I can say, Monica prefers visiting rather than staying at home. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So,
Right, teacher.
so could you like to give me at least two examples like this?
Yes, teacher. I prefer uh, I prefer to I prefer to visit my family rather than stay alone.
Very good. Okay. Another example.
Mhm. Um, I prefer go to the beach rather rather than um, go to run.
Okay. If you
Go
use
to run.
Monica, here is one thing you have to remember. If you use I prefer, then there is no preposition, then you have to use verb with ing. So I prefer
Mhm,
going to the beach rather than staying at home. Or you can say I prefer go to beach rather than stay at home. Let me write it
mhm.
for you, yeah, so that it will be easier. Both ways.
Okay.
Uh, so I prefer, oops, what have I written? Or prefer, P-R-E, prefer to go to beach rather than stay at home, yeah. Okay, this is one way. Actually, it should be going to the beach rather than stay at home. Or, are you there, Monica? Oh, I lost you again.
Sorry, teacher.
That's okay, no worries. You're
Mhm,
if you see that screen, I've written, I prefer to go to the beach rather than stay at home. Uh,
mhm.
this is one way. Another way is I prefer, we don't want to use the preposition going to the beach rather than staying at home. Okay,
Okay.
rather than, I'm sorry, rather than. So you can use both of the patterns. So if you would like to use preposition to, then you have to say I prefer go to the beach rather than stay at home. Or you can say I prefer going to the beach rather than staying at home. Okay, make another examples in both patterns.
Okay, teacher. Um, okay, I prefer uh, go to no. I prefer to eat rather than uh, drink. That is okay, teacher.
Rather than, I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, the other example. I prefer go to the park rather than uh, go to the beach.
Okay, that's good. Well done.
Thank you,
One
teacher.
more time, make another one.
Okay. I prefer uh, going to going going to no. Okay. I prefer going to the park rather than talking by phone.
Okay, don't use a talking. Okay, though it's maybe it's coming automatically. I prefer going to the park rather than talking over the phone. That's fine.
Talking over phone.
Talk over the
Mhm.
phone, not talk to the phone. Talk over the
Okay.
phone.
Talk
Okay,
over the
like
phone.
hello, yes, may I talk to Monica? No, she's not here. For example, okay. uh,
Okay, teacher.
Great. So next in a pattern is I would prefer. Okay, let me find out some examples. Okay, I would prefer is also uh, the good example to, I would prefer to go by myself. Yes, now this is the uh, good example, Monica. If you remember, if you want to just express yourself, you like something better, you don't want to mention the other things, then you can say, I would prefer to go by myself. Okay, uh, I'm writing for you. In that
Okay,
case,
teacher.
you don't have to mention the second object.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to go by myself. Okay. Another
Mm.
one, let me make another sentence so that you can practice and make more. I would prefer to study alone. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
if someone asks you a question, say, hey, Monica, what do you prefer most? Then you can say, oh, I'd prefer to go by myself, or I'd prefer to study alone, or I'd prefer to watch a movie. I'd prefer to meet my friend during the weekend, or I'd prefer relax. I would prefer to relax at home. I would prefer to, whatever you like to do. So you can choose whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So give me at least 2 to 3 examples, please.
Okay, teacher. I would prefer uh, to practice sport at weekends.
Okay, I think you're saying A every time. Be careful. I would prefer A. No, no, we don't mean bring A. I would prefer practice by, what is the sentence again?
I would prefer practice sport at weekends.
That's great. I would prefer to practice sports during the weekend. Okay, I'm writing it for you. Okay, practice. Remember, two spellings are there. This is with SC. This is UK spelling. Okay, Monica.
Mm-hmm. Okay, teacher.
American use practice uh, with C as a verb, practice as a noun. But in the UK, we use with CE is the noun and S is the verb. So I would prefer to practice uh, during the weekend, right?
Mm-hmm. During the weekend. Uh,
Okay. Uh, make another sentence, please.
mm-hmm. I would prefer to cook
Very good.
in my home. I would prefer to cook in my home.
Uh, at my home, in my home. What is the correct form? At home. Are you at home? Are you in home?
In I mean that in I prefer cook in my home.
Remember, Monica, before home, we always use at.
Always at teacher. Okay.
Yes. But when it's a bigger place, we use in, like house. Sometimes houses are bigger than home. So what is the difference between house and home?
House and home. I think mm, honestly, teacher, I was thinking that house is a place, but home is not a place. It's like when you say, okay, I go to my home. It's like a family.
That's
But I don't
right.
know. Maybe it's
No, no, you're
different.
right. So home is more related to your emotions, where you grew up, where you see your own family members. And you live in a house where there may be another people, and you live with them. Great.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, once again, practice TISC, UK spelling for verb, and C both noun and verb according to the UK spelling. These are the some ways sometimes British English is different than the American English.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm going to write a phrase and I want you to use to make sentence. Have you heard this phrase?
Once in a blue moon,
Once in a blue moon.
once in a blue moon. What that mean, teacher?
Okay. Do you know the moon?
Yes, I know.
Okay. Do you see moon every night?
Every night, not every night. Some nights, because in my country the sky is not clear.
All right. So sometimes we can see the moon in the sky. Look, we are using
Mhm.
preposition in. Sky is big. We don't say at the sky. Okay, in the sky. Okay. So remember to use preposition correctly. Before home, we use at home. Okay, at school, at airport, but in the city, in the country, in the sky, in the east, in the west, like the sun rises in the east, but it
Oh,
sets on in the west. Okay,
okay.
so in a month, how many moon can you see? We don't know how many moons. So do you know the word blue moon? Have you ever heard blue moon?
Blue moon? No, never have seen blue moon, teacher.
You never heard this word before. Okay, so blue moon. Hang on a moment, please. I'm going to show you. And from the Cambridge Dictionary, then we can make more sentences. Blue moon,
Blue moon.
blue moon. Okay, let me share the Cambridge Dictionary. Okay, can you see it, Monica?
Yes, I can see.
Blue moon.
Blue moon.
Okay, blue moon, British accent, British IPA. Okay, can you please read out loudly?
The second full moon, at the time when the moon is shaped like a complete disc in a tube that appears around every 2.5 years in a month. Okay, that appear around every 2.5 years.
So the second full moon, the time when the moon is shaped like a complete disc, like in a round or a circle, okay, in a
Mhm.
month that appears around every 2.5 years. So once mean one time, once in a blue moon is a phrase. So look at these examples. How often does a blue moon occur? And when will there be another? And honestly speaking, though it's called blue moon, a blue moon doesn't look blue at all. Okay, there is no color. It's just an expression.
Yes, yes, I know, and I understand that expression now. Yes,
So once in a
I
blue
know.
moon means a very rare. Okay,
Yes, very rare, extremely rare, maybe. When something happen only maybe when you don't know, or
very good.
sometimes it's
So
not
now
usual.
you have to make sentence, at least two sentences with this word, with would prefer.
Okay.
Use
Uh,
once in a blue moon and also would prefer with in a sentence. Okay.
okay. Using once in a blue moon. Okay. Um, I prefer. No. Okay.
Yeah,
I
then
prefer.
you're doing great. Yeah, don't worry. I prefer you can use once in a blue moon at the beginning, at the middle. Okay, depending on the sentence structure.
Okay. I prefer travel abroad, but it happened on in a blue moon.
Okay, but sometimes if you use at the beginning of the sentence, that will be really sound more interesting. Like once in a blue moon, comma. Okay, I'm writing it for
Mhm.
you. Hang on a moment. You said once in a blue moon. I prefer. I would prefer. Use I would prefer. I would prefer. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once in a blue moon, I would prefer travel abroad.
I would prefer to travel abroad. Remember,
I prefer to travel abroad.
abroad. Very good. Or
Abroad.
oop, I missed a L and A here. Or you can say, or you can say, I would prefer traveling abroad. Okay, I would
Mhm.
prefer So once in a blue moon, I would prefer to travel abroad, or I prefer traveling abroad. Which one sounds better to you?
Mhm. Okay, teacher.
Okay, one
Travel.
more sentence, please, Monica.
Okay. Once in a blue moon, uh, I would prefer to visit. No, no. Once a blue moon, I would prefer to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what.
Yeah, you're doing great. I would prefer to visit, say, an amazing place you like to visit very often.
Yeah, because all in my life happen every day. That is not once in a blue moon. That is the reason what I was thinking. But okay, I try. I invent. Once a blue moon, I would prefer to visit my friend.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Or you can say the things you don't like to visit very often. Maybe say, once in a blue moon, I would prefer to visit England. Okay. Or you can say, once in a blue moon, I would prefer to visit New York, the Statue of Liberty. You know the Statue of Liberty? The big statue?
Yes, 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 I know. But maybe that phrase I associate one that sometimes not happen usually, but that I want. For example, I want travel abroad. But, I maybe I can for different reason, and that is the reason why I say okay. I would prefer travel abroad, but it's not usually happen. It's like for example, I would prefer to travel abroad, but not it happen only on in a blue moon, like the two, because it's something that I like, but maybe it's not possible.
That's why it is really an appropriate, phrasal verbs, I mean, idioms for you to use. You can use not only the visit, almost everything. Like once in a blue moon, I don't miss teacher Rahat's lesson. Okay, that
Exactly.
so you don't want to miss any of my lesson. Once in a blue moon, I'd like to visit Japan to know their culture. Or you can say once in a blue moon, I'd like to go to Rocky Mountain to see how the, you know, hiking is challenging.
Mhm.
Okay, now these are positive sentences. Can you please make an interrogative sentence, a question sentence?
Okay. I would prefer to hiking a mountain, but it happened on once in a blue moon.
Very good. Now, if you can use a question pattern like, would you prefer once in a blue moon? You're asking a question. All right,
Okay.
Monica. So I'm writing for
Mhm.
you so that it will be easier. Would you prefer? Oops. Prefer once in a blue moon. Now you fill up the other words. How do you feel it? Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Would you prefer once in a blue moon?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Se-
Okay. Would you prefer on seeing a blue moon? Going to going to going to sky ski?
ski. SK double
Uh-huh.
A. Okay, so would you prefer once in a blue moon going to ski or to go skiing?
To
Uh,
go ski.
to go skiing is more natural, okay? To go,
Mm-hmm.
SKING, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In skiing, we use one edge, remember? Oh no, there is two ing, sorry.
Ski.
Yes, remember SK double ING, ski, and then again ING.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes two
Mm-hmm.
ING. So would you prefer once in a blue moon to go skiing? Remember,
Mm-hmm.
Monica, when it's a question, our tone must go upper intonation, upper way,
Mm-hmm.
or we call rising intonation, so that your listener can understand from your tone. Okay, it's a question. It's not a general statement. In general statement, our tone is more or less up and down. Okay, like
Mm-hmm.
like you can say, hello, I'm new here. Look, it's more or less up and down. But if you say, hey, how may I help you? Look, our voice has gone up. Or, well, is there any new lesson today, teacher? Look, our voice has gone again up. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't understand there is a lesson. Did I miss it? Okay. Look, these are
Mhm.
the ways, when you ask a question, always our expression, our voice or tone goes up, upward, okay, or rising intonation. Is that clear,
Mhm.
Monica?
Yes, teacher is clear. Thank you.
So make more sentences so that I understand.
Okay. Would you prefer once in a blue moon, get up early?
Uh, to get up early, did you say, or
Get up
getting up early?
early. To get up early.
Very good. To get up early. Remember, now is a question. This is a question too.
Mhm.
Another one.
Okay. Would you prefer once in a blue moon, uh, going to the cinema?
Very good. Going to the cinema. I love to, Monica. When are you free?
Sure, teacher. I invited you.
Okay, then we're going to have popcorn, ice cream, chocolate.
Oh no, no, teacher. Only ticket for the cinema. No more.
Okay,
No, it's a joke.
okay, I'll buy chocolates, popcorns and ice cream for you. All right,
Thank you so much, teacher.
no problem. So now you have understood. Would you prefer? Then you can use once in a blue moon. That's really a good combination of two words.
Mhm.
Okay, now if you want to make a negative sentence, how we can do that? Like, I would prefer not to. Okay, I would prefer prefer not to. I would prefer not to drive at night. Say so. That is the pattern. Now you can fill up with your own words. I
Mhm.
would prefer not to drive at night. So, would you like to make two sentences at least?
Yeah, teacher. I would prefer not to go to the beach in the middle day.
Oh, in the
In the middle day.
middle of the day.
The middle of the day.
Yeah, not we don't say middle day in the or in midday. You can say like
In
this.
midday. In
Yeah,
midday.
in midday or in the middle of the day.
Midday, middle of the day.
Okay, that's really great. Uh-oh, hang on a second. In midday or in the middle of the day.
In midday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another sentence, please.
Yes, I would prefer not to. I would prefer mm, not to cooking, not to cook
Not to
at
cook.
the weekend, not to cook
That
in weekends,
uh,
in
uh,
the weekends,
we say
weekend,
at the weekends. In the
at
weekends.
the
Which one is
weekends,
correct? At the weekend, in the weekends? What do you
at the
think?
week at the weekends.
At the weekend, in the weekend. Let me find out in a moment.
I think at the weekends, teacher.
Some people say on the weekend too. I have heard it.
Mm,
Okay, and especially at the weekends in British English we say it. Okay, uh,
okay.
or we can say at a weekend. But in American English they say on the weekend. So you see that there are sometimes difference between the British English, British grammar, and American English. So in Britain
Mhm.
or in the UK we say at the weekends. Like I prefer, as you said, uh, not to go to beach at the weekend, or I prefer not to cook at the weekend, or I prefer not to cook on the weekends. Both are correct. So which one you feel
Okay.
comfortable, at the weekends or on the weekends?
At the weekends, honestly, teacher.
So at the weekends, okay. On the weekends, very good. Wow, we've got 5 minutes more. I don't know how time goes when you practice.
Oh, teacher, very fast. The time passes really fast.
Okay, so let me give you some example. When you dislike something, you see, uh,
Mm-hmm.
we use many expressions. First one is I don't like. Okay, that is very
Mm-hmm.
common. You can say I dislike. Can you see the screen? I
Yes,
dis
I can.
I dislike the color. I dislike the movie. Or you
Mm.
can say, oh, I'm not crazy about the movie, or I'm not crazy about the food, or I'm not crazy about the boy, for example. Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes when you say negative, but also in a hatred way, you can say, oh, I hate watching horror movies. I hate going to the beach in the middle of the day or during the midday. Or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there is another good expression, it's not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can't stand. We can make one sentences quickly because we have got only 4 minutes, few seconds.
Okay, teacher. Um, I dislike eat. I dislike eat vegetables.
Okay, if you use dislike and after that if you use another verb, generally the verb should take ing. Okay, so I dislike
Okay.
eating vegetables.
Okay. I dislike eating vegetables.
Then you can say I dislike eating spicy food.
Okay. I dislike eating spicy food. Yeah, I
But
understand. I need to use ang.
yes, and then second one,
Um, I'm not crazy if you thinking that I go to the cinema today.
yeah, that means you don't like to go to the cinema. Or you can say I'm not crazy about the spicy food. Similar
Okay.
sentence. I'm not
Similar.
crazy.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. I'm not crazy. If you think that I eat spicy food.
Okay. Or you can say, you're making good sentences though. I'm not crazy about the spicy food. Simple sentence. But
Okay.
if you want to make compound sentence, that's also fine. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
crazy if you think that I eat spicy food. That's also
Mm-hmm.
okay. That's cool. The number three,
Okay. I hate to eat meat.
I hate to eat meat. Okay. Or you can say I hate eating meat as well.
Mm-hmm. Eating meat.
Say again, I hate eating meat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, get up early is not my cup of tea.
So getting up early, remember, we don't say get up early. Getting up early, it should be Jiran at the beginning. And Jiran works like an adjective. So getting up early is not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm. Getting early is not my cup of tea.
One more time, getting up early.
Getting up early is not my cup of tea.
So what time do you get up?
6 a.m. teacher, 6 a.m.
6 a.m. is too early for you and me as well. All right, that's great. And the last one, number five.
Number 5. Um, I can stand. I can stand chocolate.
Very good. I can't start chocolate. I can say I can stand cold weather.
Mm, okay, teacher. I can stand cold weather. I can stand hot weather.
That's right. Very good. Yeah, you can use both. So we have got 1 more minute. So remember that whatever we have practiced today, Monica,
Uh-huh.
make more
Yes, teacher.
sentences. And if there is any questions, then
Uh-huh.
we can discuss in our next lesson, which is tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. the UK time, Monday. And
Uh-huh.
thank you very much for joining. I hope that you have a fantastic Sunday. And one question, what are you going to eat today at your lunch?
Today, maybe I need to cooking. I cook maybe chicken and salad.
Wow. So is that your, do you
Chicken,
prefer to
chicken.
eat, would you prefer eating chicken and salad?
Yes, I prefer eating chicken and salad, teacher, and maybe a cup of tea.
Wow, that's great. Is it a cup of tea with milk tea or black tea?
Maybe black tea. It's okay for my health.
Do you also add sugar in your tea?
No, necessarily not always, but sometimes I think that sugar is okay because uh, many people say that the sugar help in your health too.
That's great. Thank you very much, Monica. We've got 13 seconds. It's counting down. I'm very happy to see you once again. You take care and keep practicing and join in time. Okay.
Okay, teacher, thank you so much for
Thank you very
today.
much. You
See
take care.
you.
I'll see you tomorrow.